Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where women from every walk of life come together to break barriers, embrace their power, and live life on their own terms. I'm your host, Vicki McDougall, and each week we explore inspiring stories, actionable strategies, and empowering conversations to help you step into your confidence, amplify your voice, and create a life without limits. No matter where you are on your journey, this is your space to grow, thrive, and become unstoppable. Welcome back. Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first live recording of the new year. And today my special guest is Julianna. And she's one of my most favorite people, I have to say. Your smile just brightens up a room, Julianna. It's so
Oh,
happy to have
thank
you here
you.
today with
You
me.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about.
I am in Florida right now visiting my youngest son. He is an equestrian and he is down here for like about 5 months. So I've been down a couple of times, but I'm here for the remainder of this week. And we've really enjoyed our time. It's been beautiful weather. I have to say, even today it's a little cooler, but the sun is shining. I mean, we can't complain. The sun is shining. Who can complain, right?
Exactly.
What's it like back home?
Not nice. No, it's
Is it a
it's
little cool back home or is it?
it's a
No.
little cold. It's a little not the most inviting temperatures right now. I wish there was some sort of warmth going on outside, but that's okay. It's winter. It's January in
Yeah,
winter, so that's
it
what
is.
happens.
It is. It is, absolutely. And we really want to talk about it being January. Um, you know, I know how hard a new year can be for many, many people. It's not easy to come into a new year with all of these expectations, not only of ourselves, but of others, and what others and social media and everyone has on you as a person. Like, what are your resolutions? What do you want from this year? You have to, it's almost like, when you're in grade 11 and or grade 12 and you're only 17 years old and you're having to think about what do you want to do for the rest of your life?
That's so true.
Well,
Actually, yes.
how do we know what we want to do for the rest of our life? No one knows what the whole life, the big picture is going to bring us. But what I always like to say in the new year, I like to say, let's bring forward what we want and all of the good that we've learned in 2025. Let's bring it forward to 2026. Let's let go of the things that no longer serve us. That can be people, that can be habits, that can be a lot of things that we want to release and leave behind. And I think that that's an important thing to really focus on rather than the resolutions. Like, having small goals and setting goals for yourself is very important,
Hmm.
but knowing that life happens sometimes is just as important, and not being so hard on yourself. Yes, strive for what you want, and action obviously is the one thing that you're going to get the results with when you put your intention, but you have to have that action to get a result. So I'm not saying don't, work for it, but I'm saying don't put so much pressure on yourself. What do you think, Juliana? Like, how do you bring in the new year?
I think, just like anybody else, there's that whole anticipation, new year, new me, and that kind of mentality to kind of like completely change up your whole style when it comes to the new year. But it's kind of unrealistic, I would say. Of course, there is things going into this new year that I want to, transition with and do a bunch of new things for myself. But also there's like that heavy pressure that like, oh gosh, we're already like 2 weeks into January and I haven't accomplished the things that I put on my list of accomplishments. But it doesn't ultimately mean that because it's a new year, you have to do everything now. You could do it at any single point in the new year, and it's just as good.
I agree. I agree. Um, there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, the last year was the year of the snake. This is the year of the fire horse,
Yes.
and the year of the snake being shedding what no longer serves you.
Right.
And I looked back at my some of my old blogs and some of my old newsletters and some writings that I have done, and seasons really mean a lot to me. I love the seasons of the year, and I know how hard winter is on a lot of people. Winter is a very hard time of the year. So having all of the expectations for what you think needs to happen and it being winter, it's putting a lot of pressure on so many people. So
Right.
how do you what do you do for yourself to take some of that pressure off so that you're not overwhelmed being the second week in?
Yeah. I think my biggest thing, and I would say like from 2025, honestly, not even 2025, I would say from 2023 to now, one of my biggest things that I keep reminding myself, especially when I get stuck in those mindsets, is that it's whatever's in my control. Right?
Yeah,
I can't control others. I can't control the weather. I can't control, if the grocery store is going to be busy tomorrow or what's going to happen tomorrow.
yeah,
But what I can control is myself and my reaction to things. And I think sometimes we kind of get in our own way when we
sure.
start overthinking those kind of things. Like, I got to lose this much weight. I got to, fix my relationships. I got to get better with my family. I got to do this and I got to do that. But realistically, something I actually learned from one of my friends when I was with her the other day, and she said it, and it's funnier because she's younger than me, and she's way wiser than me. But yeah, she just like looked at me and she said, I said to her like, "Oh, like, don't you want to get married? You want to have kids? You want to do this? You want to do that? Like, aren't you like looking
Yeah.
forward to that?" And she was like, "Hmm, what it happens, it happens. If it happens tomorrow, okay. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'm just trying to focus on right now." And I was like, "But you don't think about that kind of stuff?" And she's like, "I mean, I think about it, but I'm thinking about it in the way that I can't control what's going to happen. So
Mhm.
I just let it flow." And I was like, wow, someone younger than me is telling me this, and I still need to learn these lessons, but that's okay because I think essentially 2025 was about learning lessons, and
Mm.
2026 is about the growth in it all. Right?
I agree. I agree because I think that we all focus on a lot of times we focus on what we didn't accomplish
Right.
or what didn't work. We overthink about all of those things, like all of the negatives, negatives. What if we were to overthink about the positives? What if we were to really put it out there like, well, what if that didn't happen? What
Right.
if I got everything accomplished that I wanted to accomplish? What if this is exactly where I'm supposed to be? And
Right.
I truly, truly believe in that. I really, really do. I believe that we are perfect, whole, and complete just as we are. I believe that we are exactly where we're meant to be. And the lessons that we get to learn are lessons. They're not failures. They're not, hardships are hardships, yes, but
Mhm.
there's a lesson in everything. And I think that if we can focus on the lessons and then take that lesson and grow from it, even our mindset will shift. Because, I have a client and we were talking about how things happen and she says, there's one little thing my sister does for me every year. She said, I've been a single mom with her daughter's 20. She's
Right.
been a single mom the entire time she's had her daughter. And every Mother's Day, her sister sends her a message. Happy Mother's Day. You are beautiful. You
Mm.
are a hard, strong woman. Gives her all these compliments and
Right.
it makes her day. But then on Father's Day, she does the same thing.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I said, that is the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because you are both parents when you're a single parent, and it's not easy. But we tend to think about all that we don't give our children or all that we haven't done.
Right.
But when we're reminded from someone who is close to us that what they see, what we have accomplished, I think we need to focus just as much on that.
Hmm. No, and I think that's very right. And I think um even something that I would say that I'm trying to take into this new year is like kind of like forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Like kind of
Mhm.
letting go of that like heavy, heavy pressure on yourself and learning to forgive yourself when moments are hard or when things are not maybe going the way that you want them to. I can say as someone who's done it so many times and I literally did it the other day, like we have to sometimes forgive ourselves for the things that we didn't know in our past, right? And kind of
Oh,
let go of that like anger
absolutely.
and like
Yeah.
resistance we feel towards ourselves.
Yeah.
Because again, and again, this comes from my friend that said it the other day, like if you knew these things were going to happen, would you have moved forward in that moment? Obviously, no, right? But you
No.
didn't know any better, right? And it's
No.
all about learning those lessons and moving past them and moving through them.
And growing from it as well.
Yeah.
Like we can't learn if we don't go through it. You're
Right.
not going to get any lessons out of something that you're just sitting in. You're not.
Right.
You have to take that action. You get to move through those things. And by moving through them and seeing what you've accomplished when you look back on the other side and realizing that I did the best I could at where I was at in my life at the time and giving yourself a little bit of grace because new year, new you is bullshit. You
That's
are
right.
you. You are perfect, whole, and complete exactly the way you are. But new year, you get to be who you choose to be. You get to take what you want from the past and you get to bring it into the future. You get to let go. That's the key for me is letting go of what no longer serves me
Right.
and being present in the moment right now, today, right here with you, where I am, sitting in this beautiful city, being able to spend time with my son, having the luxury to be able to do that as well as do what I love to do
Right.
is rewarding beyond what I can even explain.
Yeah.
Because, for so many years, it's run, 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 run. When we're young and our kids are young, we run. That's all we do. Or when we're building a business, it's always go, 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 go. What if it isn't? What if it doesn't have to be?
Right.
What if you can kind of intertwine that work life and have a little bit more of an alignment rather than just a all or nothing in either place? Right? What
Right.
if that was true?
Well, there is and you love her too, Mel Robbins. She did a podcast. I was like, I think there's this kind of whole culture where it's, the grind and hustle, the grind and hustle, grind, 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 make millions, do this and do that, which is amazing to make
Yeah.
that kind of money and to do those kind of things. That's incredible. I'm definitely not putting anyone down that does that. You
Oh,
go for it, right? But also you start to kind of realize in the middle of that hustle and that grind that there's like kind of important moments that you start to miss out on or you start to realize like, "Oh my gosh, I wasn't even a part of that." And something that I think most people experience as they get older, my age, your age too, is, our parents get older, our grandparents get older. As we're getting older, everyone's going and getting older with us. And you lose that precious time that you have with them when you're so focused on that hustle and grind culture. You lose that primary relationships and that love and that home that you used to solely focus on. It kind of goes away because you're so busy with everything else. And that's one of the things that I think 2023, 2024, 2025 that I kind of acknowledge is that like, my grandparents, for example, like they're getting older and older and my aunts and my uncles are getting older and older. My
mhm.
parents are getting older. Everyone's getting older and it's that precious time that, once they're not here, and I know you can definitely add to this, once they're not here, that time you start to miss. Even those like really simple times with
Oh,
family that you're like, oh, we were arguing and it wasn't the best time, but I kind of miss it now because that person's not there, right?
yes, yes, absolutely. And I did a post, I think, not that long ago, when I was driving in my car and I was um, talking about loss because when we lose those people, like you said, that time that we had with them, we never get it back.
No.
But if we have actually created something with that person in that time, the special bond, the special connection, the special moments and memories that we've created, that's what we will never lose.
Right.
We will always have that. And, as hard as it's been on me to lose my parents, for myself, for my kids, for everyone involved, it was horrendous. It was never something and I knew that I would lose my parents one day, but I never
Right.
realized the impact that it was going to have
Right.
truly on me for such a, like, really hard impact for, like, nearly 4 years. It's been 4 years since they've been gone, and I've gotta say that I've just started to turn it around, and it wasn't easy, but I also know that I needed to go through each and every one of those steps. But now that I'm clear on what I had,
Right.
I have all those memories that I get to still share. I get to still create with my children and my grandchildren and the people that knew my parents and that I know. I get to take the learnings and the memories that I've had and I get to bring them forward, which
Right.
is a powerful thing for people to realize.
Yeah, but I think, like to kind of reflect on your story and what I know was so beautiful about you and what I'm sure a lot of other people that have been through similar things have dealt with, like the unbelievable grief that comes with, losing your parents, right? And that's your mom and your dad. Those are the people that raised you, those are the
Mhm.
people that were there from the beginning. And you're grieving. But on top of that, your kids are grieving. Possibly your grandkids are grieving
Mhm.
now.
Yep. Oh,
Your
yeah.
husband's grieving now. Those are his,
Yeah.
like I like kind of often think about that because I remember when my grandmother passed away and we were all in the hospital room and it just happened like that. And I remember looking at my dad and my aunt like, I just lost my grandma, but they just lost their mom.
That's right.
And that's like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like they're trying to be strong for all of us, but realistically, who's going to be strong for them now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's true. And I think that building on a having a foundation is so key because, my parents created a beautiful foundation.
Hmm.
And now I get to kind of pay it forward from what I've learned and where I've come from, right?
Right.
And, being a new year, my parents were never big on New Year's. I mean, they may have been when they were younger, but Christmas
Yeah.
was the time. But New Year's was never that important because we had spent so much time with family. We already knew what we wanted for the new year. That's the way my mom always looked at it, right? Was just being able to bring that forward into the next year. And I love that I can set myself up with things that I'm goals that I want to obtain short term, long term for 2026. I have a list of things that I want to create weekly, monthly, every 3 months, 6 months, and I have a long term plan. And, that will change. And that's why I'm saying that there is nothing that you can say that I'm going to do all of these things this year. I got 10 things that I'm going to create. And if you do, great, good for
Right.
you. But if you don't, good for you for trying. Good for you for trying to do the best you can. And that's all anyone can ask for. And that's all we can ask for ourselves. Did I try my best? Ask yourself the questions. You know the answers. You can't hide from yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're going to create something that you really want, you have to know how you want it. You don't always have to know every step because it'll show you. You'll figure it out as you go along. You don't have to know every answer to every question. But what you do have to do is have faith in yourself that you can do this.
Right. 100%. And I think also too, to not be scared of what
Oh,
could happen, right? Because
yeah,
I think we all
yeah,
kind of live in like a little bit of that fear of success or that
yeah.
fear of doing well.
Scarcity.
Like,
Absolutely.
let it happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen. Go for it. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous to meet new people, do new things, see new things, experience a completely different career or job. Go
Yes.
for it, right? Because the way that I kind of look at things, and I guess I have kind of like a millennial mindset, but not everything is promised. Not everything
No.
will always be there for you. I think we've kind of learned that by now. So
Yeah.
if you have that passion, if you have that feeling, if you have that drive to do something bigger and greater, go get it. Go
That's right.
do it. That's
That's
what
right.
2026 is about.
Yes, it's about all the possibilities, and that's what I
Yes.
believe too.
100%.
Everything there's so much out there for us to be able to take in and do it. Take
Right.
that step. It's not a resolution, "Oh, I'm going to blah, blah." It's just a promise to you. That's all it is. Just make that promise to yourself that you are going to do what you want to do for you,
And do
and
the
I
best that you can.
the best that you can.
And that's all you can ask for.
That's right. That's right.
That is
And
all.
on that note, I think that we have a beautiful podcast right now. I think that we really hit on some things, and I hope that you got something out of this. And I hope it takes a little bit of the pressure off too, that you realize that nothing, no one's got the perfect life, no matter what social media shows us, no matter what people
For
say, "Oh,
sure.
I'm great, I'm perfect." No one has a perfect life. There's always some shit storms in the background. But what I do know is that if you're being the best you can be, that's all you can ask for.
You got that right.
That's it.
You got that right. Yeah. Shoot for the stars. And like
Those
you
things.
said, to add to it, no one's ever going to be perfect. And
Nope.
you will never find anyone that's perfect. You yourself will always have work to do. And
Yep.
that's completely okay and so, so normal.
Yes.
So
And
normal.
practice. It's a practice. That's
Yes.
all it is. Just keep practicing. You'll
Right.
figure it out. And
Yep.
we're always here, there's always someone that can help you. There is. There's always, and we've always talked, we talk about that on this podcast all the time. You're never alone. So
Right.
reach out. And if we can't, I can't help, or I will find you somebody that can. So on that note, thank you, Juliana. I think we will
Thank
see you
you.
again on another podcast
I
coming up
think
too.
so. I feel
Yes,
it.
and
I
we have
feel it.
some, yes, I love it. And we have some beautiful guests coming up too, and we will have the beautiful Tina Brigley back as well. And I'd like to tell you, we're going to have my daughter, my youngest daughter, on here. And I really want to share her journey with you a little bit more in depth. So look for my daughter, Jordan, on an episode coming up in the near future too. And on that note, I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Art of Being Unstoppable. Remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and your power is limitless. If you love today's conversation, subscribe, share it with the women in your life, and leave a review to help more women discover their unstoppable selves. I'm Vicki McDougall, and I'll see you in the next episode, because your journey to unstoppable starts now.